2025 is turning out to be one hell of a year for spooky lovers. We've got Dark Universe opening with Epic in May. We also have Horror Unleashed coming to Las Vegas at some point this year. But most importantly, we officially have opening dates for Halloween Horror Nights 34 right here in Universal Studios, Florida. Now, I know what you might be thinking. It is January. Is it too early to talk about HHN? It is never too early to talk about HHN. So today we are kicking it off, starting a brand new countdown and giving you all of the HHN updates to keep your eyes peeled for in 2025. Let's go.
Let's kick it off with the easier stuff first. Start off light. We're going to talk about the Tribute Store Easter eggs. And what better way to kick off that conversation than right in front of the upcoming Mardi Gras Tribute Store, Legends of the Bayou. It's looking pretty damn spooky if you ask me, but we'll dive into that in just a second. Now, why is this important? Because first of all, as you know, tribute stores only pop up throughout different seasons of the year at Universal Orlando. We've got them for holidays, we've got them for Mardi Gras, we've got them for summer, and HHN. Now, why is this important? Because Universal Creative loves to tease us HHN fans and keep us guessing year-round by placing golden nuggets throughout the stores that either allude to previous HHN years or give us sneak peeks on upcoming dates, announcements, horror theming, or more. It can be something as simple as some numbers etched into a piece of paper within the decor, like we saw during the Jurassic Park Tribute Store in 2023, which gave away the opening date for HHN that year. Last year, we had a teddy bear in the Mardi Gras Tribute Store, which Pow swore had to do with Blumhouse coming to the event. That's a whole different story for a different day, but the point is that Universal loves to keep us guessing, and who knows, you might walk in there this upcoming week and catch something that we might not, and it just keeps us all excited for what's to come for 2025. Now, before we move on to the next thing you should look out for, I do want to check this facade and talk about it really quickly. So as I mentioned, it is spooky as hell, starting with my favorite piece, which is right here. The skull with the glowing eyes. I can totally see glowing eyes all over the tribute store. But the second thing that I want to point out, come here 1 second, come here. So you see this creature? At first I didn't know what the hell this was. I thought it was like either a Yeti or an abominable snowman or even, I don't know, like Bigfoot. But look at its ears. That is clearly a werewolf. Now, why is that important? Because talking about Easter eggs, in the previous holidays tribute store, if you walked into the last room of the store, you notice there was a sticker that specifically gave us the werewolf creature that was coming to this tribute store. See little golden nuggets like that you got to look out for that give us a lot of theming.
Okay, Hawk is out here making me trying to look psychotic, but yes, I did see a teddy bear in the Mardi Gras Tribute Store, and I did tell you, Blumhouse, that was definitely something Blumhouse, and we did get something Blumhouse. We got a Scare Zone, we got Insidious. So,
okay, I'll give you that. So your Lady Luck over here, you should go play the lottery.
Exactly, I should go play the lottery. But like Kwok said, tribute stores have some fun Easter eggs, whether they are HHN nods, whether they are just fun theming to horror for spooky lovers. But regardless, it's definitely something to keep your eyes peeled for, because you never know where those Easter eggs may lead. Another thing you want to keep your eyes peeled for are when exactly those tickets are going to drop for Halloween Horror Nights. Now, we have single night tickets, we have frequent fear passes, and a whole bunch of other add-ons like RIP tours, express passes, behind the screams. But the most important thing you need to know is that last year we had single night tickets drop in April, and we had frequent fear passes drop in July. Will it be the same this year? I have no idea, but those are typical timelines that we can take a look at. Now, another really important thing about single night tickets, frequent fear passes, and all the ticket prices basically is the fact that we will likely see those prices trickle up just a little bit. Every year, HHN does get more popular and a little bit more expensive, so make sure that you are keeping an eye out for that. Last year, we saw single night tickets go up to $123, and that was just single night tickets. We're not talking about the additional express passes, which tend to be a little bit more expensive than single night tickets. So make sure that you are just saving all that money to be able to have the best time at HHN.
Why are we putting so much emphasis on ticket date drops is because if you remember last year, Ultimate Frequent Fear Pass with Express sold out within hours. I am still, every time I remember that, I just want to cry. I missed out on those tickets. Don't be like me, so make sure you have your money saved and keep your eyes peeled on those dates. Now, speaking of good news, just as we mentioned earlier, it's January and we already have the opening date for HHN 34 on the books. This event will run from August 29th all the way through November 2nd. So if you need to put in your PTO, put in your flights, start booking everything, your hotels, because we are in, baby. Let's go. Now, being that it is January and we got our official opening date announcement, could that mean that we're going to start seeing earlier house announcements, theming, scare zones? I'm just too damn excited to even think about it.
Speaking of house announcements, when do you think that we'll see our first HHN announcement?
That's a great question. Everybody pull your pencils out and remember this, what I'm about to tell you. The last week of March.
Really? That early?
I don't know. I might have to go play the lottery if I hit it.
We did get a opening date announcement in January,
right.
So maybe let's keep our eyes peeled for March, like Walk is saying.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. There is no set calendar on when HHN announces houses. We've gotten announcements as early as the day after HHN ends, if you remember a couple of years
Chucky,
back.
yes.
And then we've gotten announcements as late as a few weeks before the event starts. Right. I mean, it wouldn't be like the first announcement, but typically what we'll see is a May to July timeframe where we'll get most of the announcements. Last year in May, announcement season really kicked off with Spooky Empire, if you remember.
With Slaughter Cinema 2, and then there was that 1 week where we got back to back. It felt like Christmas.
We were actually traveling, if you remember, and we were trying to post reels every single day, and it just started to become like, oh my God, another one.
It was fun, though.
It was an OG house, original concept house announcement dump.
Yeah.
And it was fun, but let's hope that HHN gives us a little bit of breathing space. Yeah. Now, when it comes to IP houses, we did initially get our first IP house last year in June, which was A Quiet Place. And then we got Ghostbusters at the end of June. And then July, we got the rest. So the rest of the IPs, we got the scare zones announced. Heard that Nightmare Fuel was coming back for a Circus Nightmare. Do you think we'll see Nightmare Fuel this year?
That is a good question. I mean, I feel like it's become a staple to HHN. So I feel like people are expecting Nightmare Fuel to come back.
I hope so. I hope that we'll see Nightmare Fuel at HHN again. But typically, like I said, the May to July timeframe is something to keep your eyes peeled for. Unless you're walking, you're thinking March.
But the main question, the most important of the night that I want to know is, when do you think the first house drop announcement will be made for HHN 34? Let us know in the comments.
Now, whether we will see house announcements as early as March or as late as May like we did last year, another really fun thing to look forward to and keep our eyes peeled for is construction updates. Now, there is a whole lot of chatter online about code names and permits being pulled and all of that stuff, and it is a whole other conversation that we're not going to get into in this video, but you can do a quick Google search for that. However, what I want to know is when we're going to actually start seeing those physical construction pieces start popping up in the park. Typically, we tend to see those definitely flourish in the July timeframe, if we're lucky, late June. However, Michael Aiello, the Senior Director of Entertainment and Creative Development at Universal, and particularly Halloween Horror Nights, did tweet out at the beginning of this year that construction has already started. Could we see set pieces maybe start popping up, maybe theming starting to come together a little bit earlier than we did last year? Got to keep our eyes peeled for that.
Every time that I walk through this section of the park, I just want to tear up a little bit, because right behind me, if you remember, was the Goblin's Pie, beautiful Goblin's booth. And the number of times that we went in there to eat Goblin's Pie, I don't even know if we kept count of it, but that was my favorite hands down dessert, and I really hope that they bring that back. But that is a total sidebar, because we're about to dive into what's next that you should keep your eyes peeled for this year.
We did not anticipate this, but as you can tell, it is nighttime and there is no HHN. However, we are looking for light to continue this video, so walk with us as we find another spot.
Now, what I want to know is if we're going to have any special experiences debut or come back to HHN 34. And what do I mean by that? If you remember last year, the biggest talk of the town was Premium Scream Night, where you had to pay $350 every time I say that price point. But you got to have exclusive access for the day before HHN, where you had staggered entry into houses, free food, a special lanyard, and everybody that we spoke to said they had an amazing time. So I kind of got a little FOMO on that. And if they bring it back, will it be more popular? Will it be more expensive? But you can bet that we will be there.
Will we? Will we be there?
Maybe.
I don't know. We haven't actually talked about that, so I'm not sure we'll actually be there.
We're going. Too bad.
Other special experiences that we've seen at Halloween Horror Nights are things like the Peacock Bar, which was actually where we are, I believe, here, right? Yeah, in the Lombards area, which we did not see that back last year. However, we did get the HHN bar, as well as about 2 years ago, there was a special food option before Halloween Horror Nights. If you remember that you could go and preview some of the food for Halloween Horror Nights. That was pretty cool and something that I kind of really was bummed that we missed out on. I was hoping that would come back for HHN 33, maybe HHN 34, who knows, but we're very excited to see what special experiences Halloween Horror Nights either debuts this year, brings back, or if anything at all.
While we make our way to the front of the park to continue our little mission here, I just want to do a quick poll. Thoughts on replacing the Fast and Furious queue and just making a permanent Major Sweets house forever? You know that, can you imagine? That'll be so badass. Come on, you know I'm right? Let's do it.
Right now, it is the end of January. There are no special theming events going on at Universal. However, Mardi Gras starts next week. Woo woo, can't wait for that. However, we're currently walking through New York, and I just cannot wait to see what set pieces are actually going to pop up in here. New York is one of my favorite scare zone areas, as it is for a lot of people. So I'm really excited to see what we're going to get in New York this year. Okay, we were talking about the Peacock Bar not too long ago, and actually, if you are coming to Universal sometime in the near future, we do have a very special, I don't think you've seen this actually. David S. Pumpkin suit. How cool is that?
I've never seen that.
It's new, it just popped up in there. And these, I don't know who these are, but I can kind of fit in. I blend in.
It kind of looks like us.
I blend in. Put me in a box. I'm ready. And for our final act, we will have Rip Ride Rockit.
Is it April 1st? April Fools, right? Say it. April Fools.
Fun fact, Hwak has actually never written Rip Ride Rockit.
Not once, but because this is about to close down, and we'll talk about that in a second, I might just have to write it at least once.
You can do that by yourself, because I'm not writing Rip Ride Rockit.
So you're probably wondering why the hell we're bringing up Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit's closure. Well, if you remember, especially last year during those crazy crowds, that ride was a lifesaver. It helped alleviate some of the crowds throughout some of the bigger houses during peak time hours.
Yes, but with its closure in September.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we might, if it's closing in September.
Early September.
And early September. So it's pretty much like the HHN season. We will not have it.
So that means all of that extra crowd, especially the younger crowds, are going to be filling in all of those extra houses. So knowing Universal, they always have a trick up their sleeve. What we're hoping for is maybe an 11th house.
Maybe make it. To ask.
Maybe, I don't know, but it can be something as simple as an extra show in the park.
Maybe, or another themed bar like the HHN bar.
Did you say beamed bar?
Themed bar.
Oh, themed bar. That's right.
But what we do know is that if there is nothing else in place for Rip Ride Rockit, then
we're screwed.
Kind of, because we only have the Mummy.
That's it on this side of the park.
On this side of the park, if Transformers is also closed down,
they
like
could
it was
also
for HHN 33, which I still don't understand why that happened.
Yeah.
But regardless, Will we have something else added to the event to kind of replace the closure of this roller coaster?
Yeah, we're hoping so. But that is something to definitely keep an eye out, because if they do add an 11th house, it would be historic. It has never happened in the history of HHN.
If you know Spanish, que necio, with 11 houses.
It's my dream. If it were up to me, I would get 15 houses, but that's not going to happen right now.
Anyway.
So we'll see.
Now we have 2 more bonus things to keep our eyes peeled for this spooky season or year really coming up, but gains wait for no one and Hawk has to fill up his protein bottle.
So we're going to cut to a commercial break. I'm going to go fill up my protein bottle, and then we'll be right back after these messages.
All right, let's go. The final thing to keep our eyes peeled for is not necessarily HHN 34 related, but it is pretty damn close. We're talking all about Universal Horror Unleashed. And if you don't know what this is, get ready, because this is a year-round permanent horror experience in Las Vegas that is brought to you by the same twisted minds that have created Halloween Horror Nights. Now, last year we got the announcement that it was opening in 2025. However, we did not get a specific date, but we did get the 4 houses that were coming to the event, as well as a tease that some of our favorite icons, looking at Jack, looking at Chance, will be making a comeback in Las Vegas. So what are we looking for this year? We're looking for that opening date, and we're looking to see how much tickets are going to cost. Now, this could be literally, it could be tomorrow that they announce this, or it could be in a week, in a month, who knows, but it is opening this year. So you can bet your ass that we will have our eyes glued to every screen possible to figure out when the hell we're booking that ticket to Vegas. Before we leave, gotta check out the Epic Preview Center, because we are so damn close to Epic Universe opening, and that means Dark Universe.
We are one step closer to coming face to face with the Universal Classic Monsters for Dark Universe at Epic May 22nd. Something to keep your eyes out for that is, what is it going to look like during spooky season? Are they going to include Easter eggs for HHN? There are so many things and so much potential for the Universal creative minds to give us HHN fans, so make sure you keep your eyes out for that.
Now that was a world of updates to keep your eyes peeled for in 2025.
Hope you took a lot of notes, because there's a whole lot to look forward to this year.
I'm excited. I know you're excited,
Hell
and I
yeah.
know you're excited. Now, if you love HHN, that is what we're all about. We are Spooky 365 over here. So subscribe and stay tuned for more this year. But if you want HHN right now, we have a whole playlist.
Whole playlist, baby. You can watch and rewatch as many times as you like.
From HHN last year. And if you want to get started, I suggest checking out this video right here.